What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. This is Eric, and today we're going to do some DCU talk because a lot's been going on, and there is a tweet that's been put out by Grace Randolph that's very, very interesting, and I want to talk about this. So it's been a little while since James Gunn and Peter Safran have taken over creative control of the DC and have changed the name now, DCU, the DC Universe, instead of the DCU that we've been calling it for years. And I think it's something that's been necessary. The thing needs to be, it needs a total shakeup because it's just been a complete mess. There's a few movies here or there that are good, don't get me wrong, and I've been overall a fan, but it has been an absolute disaster since the beginning of the DCEU, ever since Batman v Superman, and we've gone deep into all that. So it's been just crazy, and I think that we need some changes, and we've been getting that. The changes have been very strange, though. Some movies have been announced already with this new slate of ideas and films and projects that are coming out here. Brave and the Bold. We have the Superman Legacy, which is going to be interesting, but Henry Cavill not coming back as Superman. That is, we'll have to see who takes over. I'm not saying that I'm really pissed off about it because, I get it, but at the same time, you have guys like Ezra Miller, who's going to be in the new Flash movie coming up. Apparently still has a future in the DC, at least that's the last thing I've heard, which makes no sense to me. It's not so much that, I'm not saying I'm into cancel culture or just getting rid of them just because of, of a few mistakes, but it's been more than that. This person has been on a complete crime spree. We're talking about, choking out fans. We're talking about robbery. We're talking about children involved in certain instances, just really disgusting stuff, getting in fights in bars, just being an absolute menace to society. And the thing that I think about, it's not so much that, okay, you want to keep him anyway. That's one thing. If you don't care about all that, but how stable is this person? This person going to end up in prison. So he doesn't feel like he has a stable future as the Flash, someone who can be relied upon to show up on set and, learn learn the script and come in and do their part without landing themselves in jail or prison or at least creating massive controversy. So this is just makes no sense why you would keep Ezra Miller and then you don't keep Henry Cavill, but it is what it is. Then we have this tweet from Grace Randolph. I hear that it's going to be a former Batman who cameos at the end of The Flash and could potentially stick around as the new permanent DCU Batman. Damian's dad, Pattinson, is still solo, so he's not going to be part of the universe. Damian Wayne's dad, Batman, is going to be played by Pattinson over there on the side thing. I forgot, they actually gave it a name, but I forgot what it is. But basically the solo projects that really are not a part of the main universe, which I think that's awesome to have that. So we can get films like The Joker. Those have been the best DC films we've got. The Joker and the Batman, or Joker and the Batman, have been two of the best DC films we've got. All the stuff that's in the universes has been kind of not that great, in my opinion. Most of it, anyway. I really liked the first Wonder Woman. The second one was god-awful. I hated Batman v Superman. Justice League was a complete disaster, even though I thought it was decent and I got a few laughs out of it, but definitely wasn't what it should have been as Justice freaking League. Are you kidding me? Then we had the Snyder Cut, which was better, but 4 hours freaking long. The whole thing is just crazy. So this is interesting. It says, I know who it is. Apparently Grace Randolph knows who it is, but it would be uncool to reveal the whole thing. Now, Grace Randolph, she's been in the industry for a long, long time. And has a reputation to worry about. I don't think she's just going to make something completely up, but she's been wrong in the past. It doesn't mean, this could be wrong or this could change. We don't know. Of course, it's hard to believe the cameo would change because the Flash is ready to go. It's been shot and everything. So this is going to be interesting. But look at here. It's going to be one of these three Batman, she says. Val Kilmer. Is that Val Kilmer, I believe? Who is this? George Clooney? I don't know. But these are two of the old schools from the 90s. These terrible movies. They're not coming out. Val Kilmer's not. This is like one of those multiple choice where you just process of elimination makes it pretty damn obvious. Val Kilmer has medical problems. I don't think he can even talk right now. He's not coming back as the Batman. That's just absolute. It's just not going to happen. I guess for a cameo, it's possible, but for anyone to come back for a quick cameo. But they wouldn't do that. And besides, she says right here, could potentially stick around. George Clooney, yeah, no. So we know these two guys are, well in their 60s, and it ain't happening. Now, the only possibility is the most popular Batman of all, Christian Bale from the Dark Knight trilogy. Oh my freaking goodness. This is my favorite Batman. I grew up in the 80s with the Michael Keaton Batman, and I liked those movies. I was a kid though. They haven't really grown on me. They haven't really grown with me, shall I say, over the years. When I revisit those older movies, they're okay, but not great. But I love the Dark Knight trilogy for the most part. It has its flaws, but Christian Bale's my favorite Batman by a long shot. So this news could be pretty exciting, but then again, those movies were not just good because of Christian Bale. They were also good because of the director. They were good because of, just interesting scripts and not having to worry about having all this universe to keep track of, which is can be a flaw within both DC and, in my opinion, and Marvel. Because, you just want to focus on a good movie, but, we got to put all these little elements as part of the whole bigger universe. And basically DC just kind of copied Marvel when Marvel had success with that, understandably, but they didn't do as good of a job, even though I prefer DC over Marvel because I can't stand the Marvel humor. Speaking of that, the Dark Knight trilogy is just that. There's not a whole lot of humor. There's a little bit, but it's very dark. It's a very different take on Batman. And so, I don't know, you bring back Christian Bale. Is all that suddenly canon, or are you just going to... there's a lot to think about. Like, is that going to be canon, and he's back as Batman? Christian Bale's also a bit older. I think he's about 50 years old. Don't you want someone with some shelf life, too, who can hold down this universe for the next 10, 15, 20 years? I don't imagine Christian Bale's interested in that. I find it unlikely it could potentially stick around as the new permanent. I don't think that's going to happen for definitely these two guys, but even not for Christian Bale. So I'm not that excited. I think it's going to be more like a quick cameo, kind of like Henry Cavill, and that'll be it. And we won't see him anymore. Cool to see him back for 10 seconds, I guess. It'll be cool. But I don't think it's going to be a permanent thing at all. Not for Christian Bale. Christian Bale's not interested in coming back as Batman. I have to give him so much money. And maybe. But again, shelf life, man. I thought that Ben Affleck was a bit too old to cast as Batman. He was like in his early 40s at that time. Maybe even younger, maybe late 30s, I'm not sure. But, get a young person. Get someone who's freaking, 25 and can hold down this role for the next 20 years without a problem. Hiring a 50-year-old doesn't make a lot of sense to me, even though I love Christian Bale, but that's just my thoughts. And, we'll see. So, she pretty much helped it trend here. But we'll see what happens. Let me know what you all think. I don't think this is going to be a thing. I'm not saying that she's wrong. Maybe she's right about the cameo, but I don't think definitely any of these three are going to stick around as the permanent Batman. But the one who has the biggest chance to do so would be Christian Bale. But even then, I don't think Christian Bale's that interested. I don't see why DC would be that interested in getting someone, there's nothing wrong. Now, 50 years old is not that old, but to start your career as Batman, he began his career as Batman a long time ago, but to revive it now at this point, to kick off this new DC universe, doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Because before you know it, it could be, based on what we've seen, it could be 10, 13 years before they get to some of these movies. He could be in his mid-60s by the time we get to a Batman or Batman 2 or whatever the case. So anyway, y'all have a fantastic day. Let me know what you think about this. Pretty interesting stuff. I'm kind of torn on this whole new DC universe, and we'll have to wait till the movies come out and just see if they're any good. And then we'll see. So have a fantastic day, guys. Hit that thumbs up. Hit the subscribe. We'll talk to you next time.